Hi, thank you for joining me on the Retro Game Couch. Today is a little bit more of a serious video. This channel has been stuck at 19k subscribers for the past few years. There hasn't been any growth, and that is because most of the viewers aren't subscribed. And I realized that something needs to change, and that change comes today. And it starts with me looking a bit more presentable, so let's fix that first. And that also means that as of today, I'm switching to Apple. And that is why I bought an iMac G3. And in this video, we're going to check it out, see if it works, see if we can upgrade it maybe. And of course, we need to play some games on it because we are the Retro Game Couch. So let's go. Nice. 20k subscribers, here we come. The iMac G3 is often cited as the computer that saved Apple. While Apple was heading for bankruptcy in the late 90s, they brought back Steve Jobs as their interim CEO. His first product, replacing the confusing lineup of Apple computers, was an all-in-one desktop that didn't come in a boring grey box, but instead came in a translucent case in vibrant colors. The iMac G3 that was released in 1998 was an immediate hit with 278,000 units sold in the first 6 weeks and over 800,000 units after the first 20 weeks. Growing up, I've always been a PC guy, but I have to be honest, when I saw the commercials for the iMac G3, I really wanted my grey bulky PC to look a little bit more like this. Just look at the shape of this machine, it's amazing. Earlier versions had some more CRT shielding, but here it's all visible. You can see the CRT, you can see the neck, all the wires, capacitors, it looks amazing. On the side we have the following I/O. We have sound input for example a microphone, sound output for example headphones. We have 2 FireWire ports, a modem port, 2 USB ports that are USB 1.0 and an Ethernet port. As you can see, there are 2 buttons in the middle. One of them is a reset button and the other is mysteriously left out of the manual, and that is the programmer's button. Pressing this button will halt the GPU and stop everything that it's doing and present you with a debug window on the screen. It's a little white window that doesn't seem to do anything. A normal user will never need this. It's for debugging, so you can just press the letter G to exit out of it. This isn't the box that came with the iMac G3 that we're looking at today, but still we're gonna check it out and see what came in a box like this. So of course the puck mouse, which is becoming very sticky. The keyboard that matches the front of the iMac G3. This is for hooking the built-up modem to the telephone line. A FireWire cable, which is also really sticky. And this is a USB to parallel adapter. It came with a bunch of software, install, restore, a world book, Kids Studio, Adobe PageMail 3 and iMovie. I think they stopped supplying these with the latest Apple products. Apple Care, that's older than I thought. How cool is this? Warranty stuff, more warranty stuff. Product registration. The Apple Service and Support Guide, which are just phone numbers for wherever you are in the world. A 1-year limited warranty, the software license agreement, the user's guide and the setup guide. These go along with the software, of course. The sponsor of today's video is PCBWay. They not only do PCB prototyping, but also flex PCBs, CNC machining, 3D printing and much more. Ordering a PCB is simple. The minimum order quality is only 5 pieces and shipping is not only affordable, but also really fast. I use their services often and I can highly recommend PCBWay. Let's turn it on for the first time. So it appears to be working. Right. Is this a problem with the mouse? Time for a keyboard swap. It's not working, obviously, so... Oh, it's doing something. So it was just really busy. Right, it's working. So it just takes a really long time to boot. Okay, let's open it up, add some more memory. We're gonna try and replace this old and tired mechanical hard drive for something a little bit more snappy. How do you how do I turn off a Mac?
What you see here is an adult PC user trying to figure out how to shut down a Mac. Yeah, I remember Microsoft getting flack for hiding the shutdown option under the Start button, but hiding it in a menu called Special doesn't really feel much better.
Oh, there we go, Special. So this is where the memory lives. It's very easily user upgradable, just like any Apple product on the market right now. And the other hatch reveals a VGA output port, so you can hook up an external monitor.
After removing 4 screws from the bottom, you can remove that bottom, and next you need to remove all the screws holding in the shielding plate and you're in. It's honestly very easy to work on and I love it.
All the upgrades are done. The iMac is running just fine. There's the HDMI capture that I have going. And I just want to recap that what we have done and the choices that I've made thus far. The old and tired and pretty loud mechanical hard drive is replaced by an SSD using a SATA to IDE converter, and while it still uses the ATA 100 IDE interface, so 100 megabytes per second, the fact that an SSD has no moving parts means it's a lot snappier and it's dead silent. So it's running right now. The system is of course passively cooled by itself, but the hard drive makes no sound whatsoever, which is a big plus. I have upgraded the RAM from 128 megabytes to the maximum that this system allows, which is 1 gigabyte. And that's just because PC 100 memory is so cheap now. I don't really know the benefits of upgrading the memory, but again, it's so cheap. I just upgraded it to the max that it can handle. I have reinstalled macOS 9 and upgraded it to macOS 9.2.2. I did try macOS 10 on this system, but while it runs, it's really slow and up to the point that it's unworkable. macOS 9 is a continuation of the older macOS versions, while macOS 10 is a complete overhaul based on Unix. This one isn't, so there isn't a terminal, there isn't a dock. It does have something on the bottom that resembles the dock, but that is actually a quick configuration bar, and I have come to appreciate that a lot actually. One other big advantage of this computer is that it has USB ports. It's USB 1.0, so it's 12 megabits per second or 1.5 megabytes per second. It's really slow, but it can read pen drives from a PC that are formatted with FAT32. One thing I find rather amusing about macOS 9, it comes bundled with Internet Explorer 5 and Outlook Express. Internet Explorer was actually bundled with macOS from 1998 up until 2003. Which is a really fun part of computer history. macOS 9 came with a lot of new features, and I have to read them off my phone. It came with Sherlock 2, a voice print password, so you could say your password and it would unlock. It's the first macOS that came with auto updating, encryption, internet file sharing, all that good stuff. This was the first version of macOS that fully supported multi-user, and this is also the first macOS version that introduced keychain. Circling back to why I chose this configuration, I think macOS 9 is the best choice, at least for me, for running retro games. You can run them on macOS 10, but it uses a compatibility layer, and this just works out of the box. It works faster and it was designed for this machine specifically. That's enough with all the talking. Let's check out some software and play some games. I'm using the highest resolution because that has no flicker on my camera and it works the best on my capture device. I did use MacBench 5.0. and it produced a lot of interesting results, but I have nothing to compare these results to, so I will share these results in my Discord. Before we jump into the games, I wanted to show you two things that I found which I thought were pretty funny.
You didn't say the magic word.
This is of course from Jurassic Park. Now, you cannot close this, and it took me a while to figure out how to stop a program that doesn't want to be closed, but you can press Command period and then it closes the program down. I didn't find a lot of demos, and this is the only thing that I could find. Kind of chiptune-y, not very impressive graphically. I don't know if there was a demo scene for the iMac G3. I couldn't find any cool demos.
That's raw. Hey, did you kill baby?
This was a closer look at the iMac G3. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, maybe become a patron. And for now, I hope to see you next time on the Retro Game Couch.